You're watching my favorite YouTube channel, Chill Mon Gur. You know Jonathan Majors got a movie coming out in 4 days?
Focused to being the greatest bodybuilder on the entire planet. That's what separates one from being a champion, one from not being a champion.
Yeah, he's doing some press, talking to The Hollywood Reporter. They asked him about his ex-girlfriend. He said he couldn't comment on it, probably because they settled something which made them not able to talk about each other. His ex was, of course, the woman that he was running away from in camera footage here. This was the day that she admittedly attacked him in the back of a car over a phone, stole it from him, robbed him, scratched him up, made him bleeding. The jury didn't see that. The driver says she was doing everything, which they learned about on The Hollywood Reporter. It was amazing to see that quoted. And though we see her chasing him, she never characterized it as that in court. Okay, so we know credibility, we know context, we know people's history, we know reporters' history, we know all of that stuff. When people are there and there is visual evidence, let's go over to Rolling Stone. Here it is, and the first thing to notice is where it's posted on this linked to a SoundCloud account of the Rolling Stone. Why not just put it on Rolling Stone as a file? Is it like to escape accountability? We just put a link to it. So if you're going to attack anything, attack our Rolling Stone SoundCloud. Don't come after our website. Maybe I don't know anything about anything. That's all it could be. Let's hear it. The conversation was captured in the aftermath of a days-long fight between Majors and his then-girlfriend, Stephanie McMahon, in September of 2022. Let's hear it now. It's September. This wasn't allowed in court.
I'm ashamed. I've never wrestled with a woman before. Man, it's just
wrestled with a woman.
I aggressed you.
You strangled me and pushed me against the car.
All those things are under aggressed.
Yeah.
You know, like that's never happened to me. So I
because I said something sarcastically. If in your eyes.
Clearly, it's more than that.
Yeah.
Clearly,
something inside of you.
Yeah, towards you.
Clearly, it's more than that. So one of the things that's possible here is that this is proof. She was secretly recording him to save her own life. And she was like, Jonathan, say it. You were strangling me, aren't you? And he admits to strangling. That is a possibility there. I don't hear that. And it's not just because of the context of everything I gave you, where we actually see how do fights with Jonathan Majors and Stephanie go down. Well, he runs away from her. It's not just that. It's that he could probably be like, and she's secretly being recorded, which means that she's going to try to make a case. He could just be like, I just say, 100 times to shut you up. And it's, I wrestled you, which remember he said earlier in the ABC interview, like a year ago now, he goes, I never struck a woman. I never hit a woman.
But never hit a woman.
Never hit a woman. My hands have never struck a woman. Ever.
Here he is saying wrestled you. And as she's like, exaggerating it, you strangled me. All of that is under arrest. Like he was just kind of going. He didn't know he was being recorded. It's going to be used against him sometime in the future. He was just like, just let her. It was all under arrest. And then he was talking about something else. I don't hear the admission of guilt of strangulation the way it's intended for me to hear. But I also don't it's not like, oh, that didn't happen. I didn't disqualify it. It's got nothing to do with Megan Good either, and how clearly he's with a relationship for a year of what it came out. That's not what it has anything to do with. Pretend it was just Joe Blow and Stephanie Blow, and they were just talking. And I know that she's recording him often, and this is what comes out. Where's the picture? She was trying to build a case around him, right? She probably took a photo of her neck also. Maybe Rolling Stone didn't acquire that. Whatever they did acquire and however they acquired it, we can only assume came from Stephanie herself. Regarding the settlement and everything, I don't know the terms of it, and maybe she had already sent it to them before they reached to an agreement of we're not going to sue each other, we're just going to not talk about each other, like they said, and like it alludes to in the Hollywood Reporter. I never agree with that. I think you should always have your ability to speak. So maybe this was a breach of it, or maybe there was some clever writing in that contract which made it so that okay, I'll never talk about you again. It's got nothing to do with what I've already said before and all the information I shared prior. I don't know. I just don't know how the terms went. Furthermore,
because I said something sarcastically. If in your eyes.
Clearly, it's more than that.
Yeah.
Clearly,
something inside of you.
Yeah, towards you.
That last part where she tries to make the motive, because I said something sarcastic, right? Clearly, it's more than that. It's also more evidence to lead to believe like she is characterizing it this way while she knows she's recording it. And he's like, clearly there's more to it. What is the more? I don't know. And I also don't know if this man has a violent history because I wasn't there. I have video of her going to a club doing all that stuff. having video of her ear being perfectly not bleeding. So let's put it side by side. This was photo at 11 o'clock in the morning, but 11 hours earlier when she lies that it was freshly administered. You don't see any traces of wet bleeding. Her blonde hair doesn't rub it on her blonde hair during this hug. And she did go to the club and enjoy her time out. We clocked her leaving at 3 o'clock in the morning perfectly fine. She's using her fingers here as she returns to his home downstairs. Both hands are perfectly fine going through this purse. And there's a photo 7 hours later alleging that Jonathan Majors put her finger in that condition. Jonathan was a whole nother hotel. He checked in, separated himself from the situation as a man should, returns home, finds her laying down lifeless, and we're to believe that this is the case. She sent suicidal messages. There's like a shrine that she put up. She gets sent to a psychiatric ward, which is after this, which is not pleasant. But she's taking it out on him. Should mention this officer was asking her to say he strangled you. The audio was pulled in the trial. Wonder why. The trial found text messages to her friend less than 20 minutes before she's in this state. You can't tell me she wasn't faking it. Her. She's been secretly setting him up before they finally broke up, and he broke up with her. So you're not a credible source of information. The Rolling Stone article keeps quoting her civil lawsuit, and putting something in quotes kind of gives it validity, or that's what it's trying to do. But it was all he said, she said. It was all accounts based off of her, which she can say anything she wants and not be held criminally responsible in a lawsuit. Same thing when she was going to on the sentencing. Well, I've got a history with him. I'm not going to stop until he goes down. You can say anything you want. You're protecting. There's like rules that protect you under in when you whatever you say in a courtroom. But has she ever like sat on the couch and done a tell-all interview or anything where she could be held accountable like that? No, she hasn't either. She's done a lot of sharing, but in the legal avenue, and that has to stick. That sticks out to me. I can't ignore that. She doesn't have credibility with me at all. She's from a family of attorneys, secretly recording this guy trying to build the case to secure the bag on the way out should things go. It's just insurance, and it paid out because she did get the settlement. I hope it's not valid anymore. I hope they're null and void, but we'll see what happens with that. If I'm Jonathan Majors, I take opportunity right now to promote Magazine Dreams now. There's nothing you can do. You were probably told lay low, hey, and then when it's time to market the movie, we'll do it. And well, Rolling Stone's trying to sabotage your week. Don't let them. Do the big interviews. Do the one where you talk to everyone you need to talk about while your name is out there. Give your side of the story. I hope that this breach, what we just saw in Rolling Stone, now allows for him to speak, and that settlement nonsense is done. They settled out, of course. So according to the court, with prejudice, she can never come at you with a civil lawsuit. You're taken care of. So as long as this breached your guys' own like little agreement, and breach it yourself, who cares? This was wrong, or this was wrong. This was, if he did it, it's not wrong. But this coming out breaches that, and now you should have the freedom to try things your way. Don't listen to a public relations team. They're really trying to end you when you have a movie that's come out. They meaning people of colorless, Cheyenne Whitetree and her ilk.
He strangled me and pushed me against the car.
All those things are under arrest.
Yeah.
You know, like that's never happened to me. So I'm
As I listened to it a second time, what happened before which he says he aggressed her? Was he being punched and violently scratched also by her as she initiated the prior, well, not the prior, but what happened later, the other case that we know about? You're allowed to do, I'll forgive so much, and I will actually permit so much to a guy who's being attacked like that, and he's got to contain the violent threat to her. And during that, if a forearm was around her neck and she's magnifying that I was being strangled, like, I can go, okay. And I can see why Jonathan jumps right over that. Yeah, that all of that is under arrest, where he says,
He strangled me and pushed me against the car.
all those things are under arrest.
Yeah.
and then there's also the fact, like I have to say this too, that he does strangle this woman, but still, what is the context of it? Why were they fighting? She said, you said something sarcastic to me, and that's what started. What, did you hit this man? Did you box him? Were you in the shower? Did you turn on the hot water? What? I don't know what happened before it, because I don't think there's zero circumstances where a man can touch a woman in an aggress a woman. He could be under attack. That's possible, and it's believe it's likely now to me when it comes to you, when Stephanie's doing it. She has audio. She probably had video also of her neck or like different angles also if it was strangled. Maybe was it strangled for a second? That's why there's no mark. And then she didn't bother to take the photo and send it to Rolling Stone. However, Rolling Stone obtained this. They may have got some hackers in iCloud. So I have to ask, what do you think Jonathan Major's steps should be? He's got 3-4 days until the movie is out. Is he going to hit Jennifer Hudson? Like, what are the couches he's going to sit on? Does he continue to sit on them? Or does he double down and do more media? His name is in the headlines. A very strategic time to drop this, which maybe is why you probably should have been ingratiating yourself into the pop culture zeitgeist earlier. Should have been making public appearances. Celebrity Family Feud, you and Megan. You could have been attending wrestling with Matthew McConaughey, sitting front row seats at different sporting events. And he's kind of been laying low. They say that the Merciless movie that he's got may happen. He feels like it'll happen some days. He feels like it won't happen some other days. I think it has a lot to do with Magazine Dreams' success. And it's great that if you're upset right now, you're triggered and you're going, that Jonathan's going through it, you actually have a vote. Your movie ticket purchase for this film that was maybe in the single digits of $1 million digits of budgets. I'm trying to say it was less than $10 million. Maybe if this movie grosses $20 million at the box office, they go, oh, yeah, a little Sundance independent film. It was Briarcliff was distributing it. It wasn't Disney Searchlight. It was Briarcliff. 20 million. That's cool. Maybe it's 50 million. And this is like, bro, no one cares. No one believes what Stephanie was doing. He's not in any ways taboo. He's not a liability. Like, what happens after is your choice. What you do on a weekend if the movie is screening in your local town. That's what I would direct you to. His movie, Magazine Dreams. I saw my favorite trailer for Magazine Dreams was this one.
There's no days off, there's no missing meals, there's no missing workouts. You have to do something big and important, or no one will remember you when you're dead.
I think it has appeal to the bodybuilding community. I'm out. Chill out. Thanks for coming. Thumbs me up. Disagree with me. Feel free to tell me where I'm wrong. It's not the first time I'll talk about this. I promise you, God willing, I will do a video about this tomorrow. So especially if you disagree, leave that comment in there. I'm not going to not read it. Like, I respect your takes. What am I missing? Am I too biased? Have I been defending Jonathan so often that I clearly can't see the clouds from the sky? Like, tell me why I'm wrong. I would love to hear it, and I'll be reading it. I'm only going to read the ones that disagree with me. But I think like there's enough of the context out there to support why my take is still, he only says he aggressed her, and he doesn't say what happened before. And he is being secretly recorded by someone who's been having a vendetta against him. It is Rolling Stone. Let me know how. Let me know. And chill members, the full in canon documentary is up. Static Anansi. Check it out. You have early access, unlike the poor people, the subs who will get to see it on Thursday. Check it out now. You know who's not going to check it out? Cheyenne Whitetree. She's not interested in this.